Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about the blood corpuscles. The blood corpuscles are the part of blood. Let us see the components of blood. The blood consists of plasma. We have dealt with plasma earlier, and the corpuscles. The corpuscles are of three types. These are also known as the formed elements because they are formed in the bone marrow. The corpuscles are RBC, WBC and platelets. The WBCs are further classified into granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes are further of three types: acidophils. Acidophils are also known as eosinophils. Second, basophils. And third, neutrophils. Agranulocytes are also of two types: lymphocytes and monocytes. So this is the complete classification, or we can say the components that are present in the blood, the three types of cells: RBC, WBC and platelets. So let us consider them one by one. Today in this video lecture I will be teaching about RBC. Let us study the RBCs, also known as the red blood cells. The red blood cells are also known as erythrocytes. The shape is biconcave, disc-like. So if we see the RBC from the top view, it will look like this, a round circular structure, but the side view will show a depression in the center. So it has shallow centers in this manner, and this shallow center actually helps in two ways. The first, it helps in exchange of gases nicely, and secondly, it also helps it to fold to cross the narrow blood capillaries. So when it has to flow through the narrow blood capillaries, the cells can fold themselves so that they can move across. So there is a shallow center, and this makes it a biconcave disc-like structure. However, the top view shows it to be a circular structure like this. So this is the shape of the RBC. The formation of RBC is known as erythropoiesis, which takes place in the bone marrow. So when the RBCs are in the bone marrow, at that time the cells are nucleated. That means the nucleus is present in the cells. But when that means immature cells are nucleated. But when they get mature, they become enucleated. Enucleated means they lack nucleus, and not only nucleus but also the cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi body and all other cell organelles gradually disappear, and this is so to capacitate the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin is the respiratory pigment that is present inside the RBCs. So the hemoglobin gets packed up in the RBCs nicely, and this is an exception for the cell theory. The cell theory says that all the cells have nucleus, but human RBCs are enucleated. All the other lower vertebrates like birds and reptiles do have the nucleated RBCs, but in mammals all the RBCs are enucleated when they get mature, but when they are immature, or they are in the bone marrow, or when they are present in fetal conditions, then inside the fetus the RBCs are nucleated. So the mature RBCs are enucleated. The reason behind this is that it has to have hemoglobin packed up inside it, and hemoglobin helps in the carrying of oxygen. So it is an oxygen carrying pigment. It ensures that all the oxygen that hemoglobin is carrying is meant for transport. So RBCs lack mitochondria, and therefore the mitochondria of the RBC will not use it for its own purpose, and all the oxygen that the hemoglobin is carrying is only meant for the transport. The Golgi bodies and all the other cell organelles gradually disappear so that hemoglobin can carry oxygen molecules nicely. One hemoglobin can bind to 4 oxygen molecules, and once it binds, the hemoglobin is then called as oxyhemoglobin. The oxyhemoglobin so formed is an unstable compound. The formula for oxyhemoglobin is HbO2. So it is an unstable compound, and this form, that means HbO2, is only found in the blood. But as soon as this HbO2 reaches the tissues, being unstable, it dissociates into free hemoglobin and releases the oxygen. So the oxygen moves into the cells or the tissues, and hemoglobin is free again to carry more oxygen molecules. So in this way, the respiratory gases are transferred. The oxygen particularly binds to the iron of the hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is the oxygen carrying pigment which is having iron in the center. So oxygen molecules get attached to the iron. There are 4 oxygen molecules, as I said. They particularly get attached to the iron molecule, and carbon dioxide attaches to the globin part, which is the protein. Now this hemoglobin is present inside the RBCs, but the lifespan of RBCs is 120 days. Why is the span limited? Because they lack nucleus. The cells lack nucleus, and gradually during movement in the blood capillaries, they get worn out, and after 120 days they usually die, and therefore a new set of RBCs are then added up. However, every second millions of RBCs are added up to the blood. So the lifespan of RBCs is 120 days. What happens to this hemoglobin after 120 days? The iron, as I said, and the protein material, they are stored in the liver for reuse. But the pigment part will be catabolized to form bilirubin, and this bilirubin is a waste. This is a part of the bile juice which gets added up into the digestive material, and then it is removed out of the body. So if the liver is unable to produce bilirubin nicely, then the body suffers from a condition called as jaundice. So the hemoglobin breaks up to form this bilirubin, which is a yellow colored substance, which if it is not removed from the body, the patient suffers from jaundice. Let us see the size and number of the RBCs. The total number of erythrocytes in per microliter is known as the total count of RBCs. Microliters, we count it in microliters. So in human male, it is around 5 millions. But in females, this is in males, but in females it is around 4.5 millions, because the blood volume is less. In females it is around 4.5 millions, and this is in microliters. So this is known as the total RBC count of the human beings in males and females. The size, that means the diameter of erythrocytes, is 7 to 8 micrometer. This is the diameter, and it is 2 micrometer in thickness. So this is the size and this is the number of RBCs. However, this number may alter. Sometimes when the human beings move from one place to another, from the plains to the hilly regions, the RBCs increase, because it is the function of RBCs to help in transport of oxygen. In hilly areas, there is oxygen depth felt by the body, and for compensating that, the RBCs usually increase in number. And also when there is hemorrhage or whenever there is loss of blood, the body induces in formation of RBC count at that time. So whenever the RBC becomes lesser, the formation of RBCs is triggered. Whenever the number of RBCs decrease, we call it as anemia, especially when the hemoglobin decreases in amount, then we call the condition as anemia. This is a diseased condition. This is due to deficiency of iron, and therefore the hemoglobin is made up of iron, and therefore the person is said to be anemic when the hemoglobin content becomes less. If the RBCs decrease abnormally in the count, then it is known as erythropenia. Erythropenia, or sometimes it is also known as erythrocytopenia. In this condition, there is an abnormal decrease in the RBC, and when there is an abnormal increase in the RBC, we call it as polycythemia. So this is an abnormal increase in RBC. This is abnormal decrease in RBC. And this is decrease in hemoglobin. Normally the RBCs are formed in bone marrow. And destroyed in liver and spleen after the span of 120 days. But if in between 120 days the cells become worn out, there are different cells that are present in the blood called as macrophages, and they phagocytose. That means they eat up the worn out RBCs. So this is how the worn out RBCs are removed from the blood. So there is always a check in the worn out RBCs, and the new RBCs are then added up into the blood. Now there is a condition which is known as carbon monoxide poisoning. What is this? This is actually because of the hemoglobin's affinity for carbon monoxide. Previously in this video only, I discussed that hemoglobin, when associates with oxygen, it forms an unstable compound. Unstable compound means it will dissociate easily. But once the hemoglobin comes in contact with the carbon monoxide and hemoglobin becomes a permanent compound, and it's a stable compound. This is the formula. That is the carboxyhemoglobin. So this carboxyhemoglobin is permanent. That means it will not let the hemoglobin be free for carrying oxygen molecules. When is carbon monoxide abundant? Whenever there is a fire and whenever there is black gases, black soot present, that means carbon monoxide is abundant. During the cases of burning and fire, that means carbon monoxide is present because black gases are present. So all the hemoglobin gets permanently attached with carbon monoxide, leaving no hemoglobin free for the oxygen transport, and that is how the entire body gets carbon monoxide poisoning. The person becomes blue in color and dies. So this condition is fatal, and so usually people who are under fire, they do not die because of the fire, or when the house is on fire they are not they have not caught fire on their body, but they die because of carbon monoxide poisoning. So this is a condition because of the hemoglobin's affinity for carbon monoxide. So this was all about the information for RBCs. In the upcoming videos, I'll be discussing the other corpuscles, the WBCs and the platelets. If you have any doubt, you may ask me in the comment section, and you may refer to the questions given in the description box. Thank you.